because the holiday season is such a social time during a time that you want to be isolated and hibernated and not see anybody. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Kelsey and I make mental health videos here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 ways to cope with social anxiety during the holidays. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos. So the first tip today is you're allowed to say no and to set your boundaries. So whether it's with friends, families, events, whatever it is, you're allowed to say no. If it's something you don't want to do or don't feel comfortable with, or somebody or something you're not comfortable with, then don't do it. Set your boundaries. If you're vegan or celebrate a different tradition or do something a little bit differently, embrace it. Don't let other people's traditions or ways of thinking impact what you do and what you want to do. So if it's an event or something going on that doesn't accommodate how you eat or your celebrations, then see if there's a way that you can adapt and still go if you feel comfortable, or if not, just be upfront and honest about why you don't want to go, and see if maybe they're interested in celebrating maybe your tradition, and then you'll come and visit them during their tradition. There's always a way to work around it, and as long as you talk to your family members and friends about it ahead of time and not in the moment, then you might be a little less anxious leading up to the situation. You're allowed to say no to certain conversations and certain topics. Some people just don't want to talk about certain things at this time of year or at any social event. Some things are just not some people's business, and a lot of times friends and family like to ask a lot of questions. And I don't know, sometimes they don't realize what they're doing. And if you can let them know ahead of time that you maybe just want to focus on the event or talk about what's going on now, maybe not talk about those certain topics, and if you let them know, then you can avoid that altogether, and I'm sure that they'll understand. Tip number 2 is you don't have to be jolly or in the spirit all the time. A lot of people put pressure on themselves, and that just makes it harder to be in the spirit and be in the mood for Christmas. Do it when and if you want to. You don't have to. And I know I was a Grinch a lot of years. It was something that I just didn't feel right. I struggle with borderline personality disorder, anxiety, and depression. And this time of year, on top of seasonal depression, everything is so hard this time of year that putting pressure to be in the spirit for everybody else just makes it harder. To get yourself in the spirit, you could always do things that you enjoy. So winter or holiday events that you really enjoy doing. So if you enjoy making cards, skating, whatever it is, maybe other people aren't into that. So embrace it and do your own thing and get yourself in your own spirit. And maybe your friends and family would enjoy doing it. So you could try to invite them, and it's something that you could do together and make a new tradition that's something that everybody enjoys. Number 3 is have an out or an exit plan for an event. So talk to a close friend or family member that has an idea of what's going on, and they could be your support network if things get overwhelming and you need somebody to talk to, or they could know a safe place for you to go and calm down and be by yourself, or maybe even a drive home early if things get too overwhelming. You could also have a certain time that you need to leave, so something that's going on after the event. So if you don't know how long the event is, and you know that your span is usually maybe 1.5 hours to 2 hours before you get overwhelmed, and the event starts at 8. So say you have something planned for 10 o'clock, you'd love to come for the event, but you have to leave at 10. So whether it's a coffee date, whether you have to wrap presents, whether it's you're going to go home and put on your pajamas and watch a Christmas movie, if you have a plan to do something, you don't have to explain yourself. And everything is valid, and any reason you need to leave is valid, and you don't have to explain that. And just having that plan in place will make you feel less anxious going into the situation, because you know that you're not going to push your threshold. You're not stuck there until the party's over. You know when you're leaving. Just having the plan in place will ease your anxiety going into it, so you can enjoy yourself a little bit more. Number 4 is pack an emergency bag. So whether you're going overnight, on a road trip, maybe on an airplane, anything could happen. You could get snowed in, your flight could get delayed or canceled, and usually we don't think of those things until we leave the house. That's when our anxiety starts and all those thoughts kind of start jolting at us of what if this happens, what if this happens. And if you're prepared for the worst, then it'll calm your thoughts, calm your anxiety, because your brain won't have that worst case scenario to go to. So pack a bag with medication for a couple extra days, a journal, something that calms you down, special food if you have a special diet, whatever it is to get you through maybe an extra day or two if something happened, and that way you're always prepared for the worst. And if the situation does arise, then your anxiety isn't going to be at peak point. If you have to stay the night there, then you're not in an anxiety attack all night long because you don't have your pills for the next morning, or whatever it may be. Then your anxiety is calmed and your brain and your thoughts are calmed. Number 5 is really important, so self-care. I know it's said a lot, but your self-care routine is huge. So leading up to the holidays, during the holidays, and after the holidays is so important. And that'll just help you stay prepared and be at your mental and physical best to take on all of these things. So journal, plan, set a routine for yourself. Make sure you're getting a good diet and lots of water, good amount of sleep, not too much, not too little. It's easy to oversleep at this time of year with, you know, seasonal depression and everything. Get out of the house and slowly start to integrate yourself back into socializing, because the holiday season is such a social time, during a time that you want to be isolated and hibernated and not see anybody. And a lot of people feel this way because of seasonal depression or any other mental illness that they might struggle with. We don't want to go from being isolated into just slammed into social settings. It makes it really hard. So if you ease yourself into it, it's going to make it easier, and you're going to, even without noticing, you'll get some coping mechanisms and you'll get a little bit better at it. And it'll make the holiday season a little bit more smooth for you. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's all for today, and I hope these 5 tips really help you out. They've helped me through the past couple of years in holiday seasons, and I hope they help you. If you have any additional tips, please leave them in the comments. You might help somebody else. Or if you have a question for me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.